You stay up late fixing system architecture errors that other people left behind. You are the first to arrive and the last to turn off lights. You honestly believe that if you just work twice as hard as everyone else, the system will naturally reward your silent dedication and technical brilliance. Last night you were manually patching a critical system vulnerability that Sarah missed. You saved the deployment while the rest of the team was sleeping. But this morning, Sarah is the one stepping into the tech lead role. She has decent skills, but she always knows how to own the room. She tells the director, "My team successfully deployed the fix." Meanwhile, you stand in the corner, holding your breath, waiting for someone to notice you. Don't just blame corporate politics or unfairness. Face the harsh reality of the U.S. corporate world. Exceptional hard skills are just the basic entry requirement. If you walk into a room and choose silence, everyone's brain automatically labels you as a backroom executor rather than a leader of the future. Science proves you have exactly 7 seconds to define how the room treats you. If you don't master those seconds, you pay a heavy tax. This is the unseen tax on your own talent. It is the gap between how much value you create and how much value the world perceives. In the next few minutes, we are going to break down the micro-diplomacy tactics that will stop you from being the invisible worker in the room. A famous study out of Princeton University proves it takes just 7 seconds for someone to make a judgment call about your competence and trust. Your colleagues and bosses aren't being mean. They are just following biological hardwiring. Their brains decide your status before you even finish your first sentence. Let's get one thing straight. Micro-diplomacy does not replace your performance. If your hard skills are 0, no amount of networking will ever save you. But if your hard skills are a 10 and your visibility is only a 2, the system will always treat you like a level 2 employee. In American business culture, value isn't just created. It has to be communicated effectively. Micro-diplomacy is the strategic art of visibility and professional impact. It is about making sure your actual impact matches the effort you put in. It is the multiplier that turns your technical work into career capital. Think of it as the interface between your brain and the organization. If the interface is broken, the most powerful processor in the world is useless. To navigate the modern U.S. hierarchy, you must understand that every interaction is a data point. There are no small or unimportant conversations in business. Micro-diplomacy is about mastering the tiny signals that tell the world you are a high-value asset, a strategic thinker, and a future leader. Every time you execute these tactics correctly, you are depositing equity into your reputation vault. Today, we start with your most basic digital presence. In a hybrid workspace, your digital presence is your handshake. It is the first thing people see, and often it is the only thing they remember. When you are speaking on Zoom, stop looking at the person's face on your screen. It feels natural to you, but it looks disconnected to them. Look directly into the camera lens itself. To the person on the other side of the call, that reads as direct, unshakable, and confident eye contact. This tiny adjustment makes you appear more authoritative and trustworthy. It signals that you are fully present and not distracted by other windows. Second, you must own your name. When John meets the VP of product at the coffee station, he doesn't just give a shy, awkward nod. He looks him in the eye, adopts an open posture, and says, "Hi, I'm John Miller. It is great to finally connect with you, Mark." Never just say, "Hey, I'm John." Casual is forgettable in a sea of employees. Introducing yourself with your full name signals an executive presence immediately. And here is the secret. Drop the outdated hierarchy. In U.S. corporate culture, calling your VP sir or ma'am actually creates an artificial wall. Call them by their first name. It signals that you view yourself as a peer who delivers real value, not just a subordinate taking orders. This creates horizontal trust. Leaders want to work with other leaders, not with people who are afraid of them or the company title. When you use their name, You break the psychological barrier. You become a person with an identity rather than just another name on a spreadsheet. Now that you've mastered the first 7 seconds of the encounter, you have to master the language of the ongoing professional relationship. Micro-diplomacy is won or lost in how you end your sentences. Most people send passive emails that effectively end the conversation and the momentum. Never send an email that says, "Let me know if you need anything." That invites zero engagement and makes you look like a passive service provider. Instead, shift the spotlight. Ask an open-ended question that triggers their expertise and makes them feel like a valuable mentor or partner. In meetings, do not be the person who just sits there taking notes. If you are only taking notes, you are just a human recording device. Use the technique of micro-questioning. When someone shares an idea, validate it immediately and then pivot with a high-value, strategic question. Don't just say, "I agree" or "sounds good." Say, "That's a sharp angle, Sarah. How do you see that impacting our fourth quarter timeline?" This simple pivot shifts you from a tactical order taker to a strategic partner in under 5 seconds. You are now driving the conversation forward. You are signaling that you are thinking about the big picture, the deadlines, and the ultimate success of the entire business unit. Language is the most powerful tool in your arsenal. The words you choose define the boundaries of your influence and your professional ceiling. Every email, every Slack message, and every brief comment in the hallway is an opportunity to reinforce your status as a high-level thinker. Stop being a passenger in your own career. Start using the language of leadership to navigate the complex waters of the corporate world. Warren Buffett famously told business students that they can increase their professional value by 50% just by improving their communication skills. Why? Because in high-stakes environments, trust is the only real currency. If people don't know you, they cannot trust you with bigger responsibilities. But remember this: American corporate culture smells artificiality from a mile away. You cannot just fake these techniques to manipulate people. Micro-diplomacy isn't about being a slick salesperson or a kiss ass. It's about being radically intentional with how you show up every single day. The best way to be seen as interesting is to be genuinely interested. Ask the right questions, listen to the answers, and connect the dots. The 7-second rule opens the door for you, but your consistent execution is what actually locks in your reputation for the long term. Reputation is built in drops and lost in buckets. Micro-diplomacy is the daily habit of managing your professional equity with every single interaction. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and only 5 minutes to ruin it. In the corporate world, those 5 minutes usually happen in silence. If you are not managing your visibility, someone else is managing it for you. And usually they are not doing it in your best interest. When you master these rules, you don't just work for the system anymore. You make the system work for you and your long-term goals. This is the key to breaking through the glass ceiling. It is not about working more hours. It is about working more strategically with people. Whether you are starting a new role at a tech giant or navigating a mid-tier corporate ladder, stop waiting for someone to finally discover you. Tomorrow morning, look directly into the camera lens. Use your full name with pride. Ask the smart, strategic question that nobody else is asking. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the biggest roadblock you face when you try to communicate with leadership in your company? Let's talk strategy in the comments. Hit the subscribe button for more data-driven career playbooks designed to help you win in the corporate world. Your next 10 years of career growth, they don't start next year. They start in the next 7 seconds of your very next meeting. Master the rules of the game or stay stuck on the sidelines. The choice is yours. I will see you in the next one.